Welcome back to Blanks No One Asked For, and in today's episode, a few Americans are going to react to the Magic Geekdom's 10 must-visit places in England. So these are Americans that have been over to the UK on numerous occasions, and from my understanding have even spent up to 6 months there at a time. So looking forward to seeing their opinion, and also looking forward to seeing if your opinion lines up with theirs. I'm also looking forward to seeing if any of these 10 places are places that we will be visiting. So if you've not already done so and you're new here, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and be on the lookout for our very own vlogs from across the pond, which will be occurring very, very soon. So without further ado, let's do.
We've spent 7 months over the course of the last couple years traveling throughout Great Britain, spending most of that time in England. Today, we're counting down some of our favorite places throughout England, the best coastal towns, picturesque villages, and the coolest cities. Whether you're planning your first trip to the UK, or you live nearby and are looking for a day out or a weekend break, these are the places that we think you must visit. Make sure you subscribe and check out our other videos for guides to each place, foods you have to try, and so much more. In 10th place is Lincoln. This charming city in the East Midlands completely won us over with its incredible cathedral, fascinating history, and delightful charm. If you've never been to Lincoln, it's a very steep...
For those of you that say we're incapable of learning, that was a Tudor house.
Yes.
Surprise. In fact, the main thoroughfare,
Also known as a peanut butter ball house.
Lesser used nickname, of course.
is called Steep Hill, appropriately named. This postcard perfect cobblestone...
Wow.
Now, something I did learn, that these people, what they're doing with their legs is walking. I didn't know this was a thing before then.
I think we don't have that here.
Stone Street leads you up to the cathedral and castle grounds. The Lincoln Cathedral is a medieval masterpiece that was once considered the tallest building in the world for over 200 years.
Wow.
It's a very beautiful cathedral, inside and out. To go inside, it costs £12 for adults. And we loved that it was one of the dog-friendly cathedrals in England that we went to. If you do go inside, don't miss trying to spot the iconic Lincoln Imp. The historic Lincoln Castle dates back 900...
That was my nickname.
Thank you, because I said it too.
Oh, what a resemblance.
Except they called me the limping imp.
I hate it here.
years. You can walk along the ancient walls and get amazing views of the city and surrounding areas. It also houses one of the 4 remaining copies of the Magna Carta, a kind of eerie Victorian prison, and you can learn about Lincoln's Roman history. One of the spots we loved on Steep Hill was Brown's Pie Shop. They have delicious pies and are definitely worth a stop. We also enjoyed taking a narrowboat tour along the canals. It was a unique way to see Lincoln's countryside. The cathedral and castle alone make Lincoln worth a visit, but we found the city to be truly an underrated gem full of pleasant surprises.
Number 9 is Newcastle upon Tyne. If you live in the UK, there's a good chance Newcastle upon Tyne is not on your travel bucket.
The wrestler Neville is from there.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Now, I have noticed looking at maps and trying to figure out where cities and towns are in relation to one another. There's a lot of places that are this place upon this place. Like this place upon, I guess,
Tyne.
Tyne.
Newcastle upon Tyne.
But where does that originate from? Like why that word structure?
Tell us in the comments.
That name.
Bucket list. But maybe it should be. We have friends in Newcastle, so we've been multiple times and probably have spent more time in this city than any other in the UK. What I love about this city is that it has a fascinating history blended with a modern, lively spirit. Wandering around, we are struck by Newcastle's unique mix of sleek new construction right alongside historic buildings, many of which are very beautiful. You can't miss the iconic Tyne Bridge over the river. When it was built in 1928, it was the world's largest spanning bridge. One of the things that we love the most about Newcastle is that it has some of the best food in all of England.
There's your pizza that we talked about in a different episode.
That has never been spoken of that I know of.
Is that? I hope that's a slice of pepperoni and a slice of cheese, or is that one together?
It does look like it's split down the middle, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's also
Or you
not,
could use it to fold.
I don't, that, in my personal opinion, which I'm not sure matters for most, it does not look like a great slice of pizza.
It does.
Look at the pan. The pan is I'm assuming sliced.
Pre-sliced.
Yeah.
And all the black olives are in one spot.
Oh, black olives and ham, yeah.
It is definitely a foodie city. Granger Market dates back to 1835, and it's a must-visit market. It has wonderful food options like artisan cheeses. We tried a unique sticky toffee cheddar and had one of the best chicken sandwiches we've ever had at Fed's.
Another highlight is the quirky WC gin closet, possibly the world's smallest gin.
Hey, they have gin.
Oh, gin. I thought they said gym.
A gym
I was like, how you gonna get in the gym in there?
Oh no, it's
I
gin.
wanna puke.
Closet just for you.
That Parma Violet gin drink I had there.
Newcastle is also known for its Georgian architecture, and walking along Grey Street feels reminiscent of Bath, which we'll discuss more a little later. The riverfront quayside area offers picturesque views of the Seven Bridges. Newcastle is only a 90-minute train ride from Edinburgh, and there are a lot of other incredible places around like Durham and Northumberland nearby. It's definitely worth a visit.
Coming in at number 8 is Bath. Undeniably one of the
We're going there.
most
Are we?
beautiful cities in England. It's no wonder that it's a popular tourist destination. The Georgian city really captivated us.
When I hear Bath, for some reason, and maybe it's because of bathtub, but I picture something like a very small town, like
I think that's because you're thinking of Bath, North Carolina.
maybe,
a
which
very
is
small
very,
town.
very small,
Very,
if not
very
the
tiny.
smallest.
I wouldn't say it's the smallest,
It's
but it's a
not
very
the
small town.
smallest.
But yes, this blew
That's
my
cool,
mind
though.
when I first realized how big Bath was, actually.
It was one of the first experiences we had
Yeah,
with
big
Roman
Bath.
history in England. And throughout all of our travels, it's still one of the most memorable cities. You can't visit Bath without experiencing the Roman baths. The remarkably intact ancient thermal spas that date back to around 60 AD. And the museum is full of so much wonderful information and so many impressive artifacts. It is definitely worth a visit. The iconic Bath Abbey, looming overhead, is an architectural marvel in its own right. But the real showstopper is the iconic Pulteney Bridge, adorned with quaint
Whoa!
bridge.
Look at those houses on that bridge.
Can you imagine the insurance cost on those
Yeah,
houses?
right.
That is concerning. I don't want to live there.
Just walk out the back door.
Adorned with quaint
Take it
shops
back.
and restaurants stretching across both sides. One of the best examples of Georgian architecture.
What is that?
Wow.
That's huge.
That is JJ Extra.
It's also interesting, like the shape, like it curves like that.
Yeah.
Is the Royal Crescent. We missed it on our trip, but our friends JJ Extra recently visited, and wow, the Royal Crescent is stunning, isn't it? This row of 30 terraced houses, laid out in a sweeping crescent shape, was constructed in the 1700s, and I can see why it's considered one of the greatest examples of Georgian architecture anywhere.
Let's talk about Bath buns. If you visit Bath, you must try one. We ate at the iconic Sally Lunn's historic eating house, sampling both a savory and sweet version of what's considered the original Bath bun, which is kind of like a giant bun made out of brioche.
Whether you're in the mood for something savory or sweet, there are plenty of toppings to choose from
It's like
for
whenever
your
we want
Bath.
to eat.
Traditional Somerset apple cake.
Oh, this is dessert right here.
Apricot brownie,
Sally Lunn's bread pudding.
rich chocolate cake.
Oh,
It's like I know where we're going
I
to
want
eat.
the Marlboro custard pie with lemon curd, please.
And again, like culture shock. What you see here, if you were to order the Elizabeth
what you
sponge,
pay?
you go to the register and pay $4 or £4.88.
God.
Like,
I'm so proud of you.
thank you. I corrected on the fly.
That's cool.
The not adding tax thing is really going to be an adjustment for us.
What are we getting? What are you getting?
If I'm looking at this,
Yeah, just the bottom
I'm the
portion?
apple cake.
Oh, we're looking at the bottom or the top too? I'm getting the milk jam.
Bottom,
Milk jam.
bread pudding.
That does
bread
sound good.
pudding.
Yeah, the apple cake looks good. But then I'm with you on the lemon curd though.
That's what I'm getting.
I don't know. We didn't get down to rich chocolate cake.
That too,
The
yeah.
apricot brownie.
I'm getting all of.
We're getting
Guess
all
what?
of it.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting multiple things and sharing.
Fun.
We also love the cozy, intimate vibe of the Raven.
Tell us that. Is that like tantamount? Like, should we order each individually something and then we share it on our own, or just tell them, hey, we'd like to share this, and just bring it out on the smorgasbord?
Who sent me?
Several months later.
I saw a video the other day. Oh, it was TikTok. There was a guy that went to a barbecue place in England, and he ordered basically it's a little bit of everything. They had a platter that had a little bit of everything on
Sampler.
it, essentially, and it was massive. And I was like, dude, how great of an idea would that be if we could find some restaurants that had that?
Just give us a platter of. Not
Also,
literally.
side note, this is a really cool sign.
It is.
Pub. I savored one of the best steak and Stilton pies I've ever had.
And I discovered a new favorite, pickled onion and cheese in my ploughman's lunch. Bath is a stunning city, and
Not to be confused with our ploughman's lunch, which was cheese and featuring a minuscule slice of bread.
Upon more cheese.
I think that's something else.
Cheese upon ploughman.
one of the best places.
That's something else that I'm interested in trying because we did the ploughman's sandwich horribly, I might add. Sorry. But there's also a ploughman's lunch that we've not yet tried that I'm interested in.
Places you can visit, especially if you're into Roman history or Georgian architecture.
Number 7 is Manchester. Our trip to Manchester started on a really fun note. We started by visiting the Wash House, a hip speakeasy style cocktail lounge where you enter through a fake laundromat or laundrette. The bar itself is low-key and cool, and the cocktails are incredibly creative. And that's what makes Manchester...
Was that an ice cream cone on the side of the head?
It
did
was.
look like
I don't
that.
know if it was like,
It's like a chaser for a drink.
yeah, pretty cool.
so special. It's an eclectic city with a mix of industrial grit, modern trendiness, and historic charm. For a taste of Manchester's storied history, don't miss the breathtaking Manchester Cathedral. Founded in 1421, it's
Alright, so can we agree that the northern UK trip, we stay in Manchester and venture out?
I'm good with it.
Alright.
soaring Gothic architecture and wide cavernous naves are simply jaw-dropping. We loved admiring the ornate details while learning
Jeez Louise.
Wow.
The fact that this was created long before a lot of the equipment
That's
that would have made this a lot
crazy.
easier is ridiculous.
My brain can't even make out what all that is right
Yeah.
there.
Especially since, from my understanding, a lot of this is the original architecture. Like
Yeah.
it's been preserved as this to this day. It's crazy.
about its rich heritage.
The Northern Quarter is possibly Manchester's coolest area. Full of street art, indie boutiques, record stores, lively bars. It's a
record
very
store.
cool area to just wander around and explore. And if you do visit Manchester, you absolutely must visit Affleck's. It's a former department store that's been converted.
Nobody else thought about the
Ben.
duck. Ben.
I thought it would have been Affleck.
Ben
Oh, I
Affleck.
thought Affleck, the insurance company.
Where's the duck?
into a marketplace with
What the
independent
duck?
shops. It was the absolute highlight of our time in Manchester.
I love you too, sugar tits.
Is that
Looks like Bob
what
Ross.
is Bob Ross wearing? Is that Star Wars garb?
I don't know. Who's
Jimmy
above
Hen-
Bob Ross?
So did he borrow from Jimmy
That
Hendrix?
is the lead singer of The Cure.
That's, okay.
Don't know his name, but pretty sure.
Cure
that's right.
guy.
Yeah, it looks like.
There you go.
From vintage clothes to rare vinyl, it is a treasure trove of unique finds.
For delicious Indian food, hunt down the no frills but phenomenal This and That Cafe. Their daily rotating curries are possibly the best we've had yet. I still dream about that flavorful Bombay potato curry. Mackie Mayer Food Hall was another highlight for food. Many options to choose from, but we can recommend the pizza. We barely scratched the surface of Manchester in our time there, but we can't wait to go back. And
That pizza.
There's ice
It's
cream.
an ice cream cone.
Yep.
And it's
that
that same
same old-
I had to pause for a second there because that like cue from
We
Impractical
can't
Jokers.
mention them right now.
That pizza looked light years ahead of the other pizza, by the way.
Yeah.
Dude.
experience more of this vibrant city.
A place that we visited more recently is the Jurassic Coast, which comes in at number 6. The Jurassic Coast is a must-visit UNESCO
going
World
there?
Heritage Site,
We will be seeing a portion of the Jurassic Coast in Dorset, I do believe.
stretching over 90 miles along the southern coast of England. We spent several days exploring the incredible region and loved every single minute of it. In the town of Swanage, we hiked out to see the Old Harry Rocks, 3 stunning chalk formations jutting out of the sea. The hike took us near fields of grazing cows and sheep, making it a quintessentially English countryside experience.
So our beaches, I noticed, our beaches normally are loaded with sand. Like that's the way our beaches look. All the beaches in the UK, rocks.
Pebble.
Yep.
Probably.
Interesting.
Another highlight was finding the preserved dinosaur footprints at Keats Quarry. It was a little difficult to find, but it was surreal to see these
crazy.
140 million year old tracks just casually out in the middle of a cow pasture. We stayed in the charming seaside town of Lyme Regis, known for its fossils dating back 200 million years, to when the whole area was underwater. We didn't have a lot of luck finding many fossils, but fossil hunting is so much fun, it's become my new favorite pastime. The whole area is stunning. Fossil hunting is so much fun, it's become my new favorite pastime. The whole
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at
Well, you just look at it.
Well, you just look at that.
Like, I've traveled a lot in the U.S., but I've never traveled for scenery. I've always traveled for events. I've traveled for, you know, a number of reasons, but I've never really, what? But I've never actually traveled for scenery like this. So this is going to be probably the first trip that I've taken where most of the destinations are for stuff like this. And I think this is going to be so cool to have like sites such as the castles and just like this overlooking scenery. Mind blowing.
This kind of looks like sand back in there.
It does.
I may be wrong.
Yeah, no, it does.
You ignorant fool.
whole area is stunning
What's wrong
and
with you?
beautiful, and it's just lovely to walk along the seaside.
If you find yourself in Lyme Regis, don't miss the food at the pilot boat. Everything we had was fantastic.
Finally, no trip to the Jurassic Coast is complete without visiting the very famous Dirtle Door. A stunning natural limestone arch
sand.
hike
There's a
down
sand.
provided incredible
I didn't realize it was that close to the coast. It didn't look that close to the coast when we saw the other picture. You
Are
know,
we going there?
Not that specific place, I don't think, but the Jurassic Coast, I think they said stretches.
I can't wait to drop you off at
Stretches 90
Dirtle Door and leave you.
Yeah, I can't wait to be with Dumbledore.
And I know, there's not a megalodon in the UK. Big surprise, right?
views. It felt like something out of a fantasy film to finally see
I think that is sand.
Yeah, it looks like it.
the Dirtle Door. But maybe try to avoid visiting during school holidays, or in our case, Easter weekend. We still enjoyed ourselves, but the experience might have been a little more enjoyable if we weren't
That is
sharing it
sad.
with 3,000 other people. Between the stunning scenery, the fossil hunting, and the classic English seaside towns, the Jurassic Coast is an absolute dream.
Next up at number 5, Cornwall. Tucked away in the
Cornwall.
far southwestern corner of England is one of our absolute favorite places, Cornwall. It's a classic destination with a very distinct culture and cuisine. We've been all over England, but Cornwall has some of England's most dramatic coastlines and picture-perfect fishing villages. We explored several villages like Marazion with its iconic St. Michael's Mount, but one of the most
wow.
stunning spots we
Okay.
found was Lizard Point. Here we lucked into perfect sunny weather for hiking the coastal footpath. The trail took us along dramatic cliffs and sweeping views. It was our first time visiting the English seaside, and to this day, it's one of our favorite spots.
Oh, wow.
St. Ives is a quintessential Cornish town to visit. We arrived in the evening and watched a beautiful sunset. We dined on some fresh off the boat fish and chips at a local seafood restaurant
Nice.
and tried Cornish smokies, a cheesy smoked haddock dip that was truly divine.
Oh, that sounds fire.
That does sound
Add that to
really
the
good.
list.
Haddock dip.
But the true star of Cornwall is the Cornish pasty. We got one from Anne's Pasties in Helston. It was incredible.
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh!
What?
All 4 of us can eat on that.
Yes, sir.
Why have I been? I've been.
Yeah,
You been what?
I've been bamboozled.
Never mind. Yeah, when I think of a Cornish pasty, I think of like the small little like tea cake type thing, not that.
That's huge.
I also thought it was pronounced pasty for the
I did
longest
too.
time, and that's something very, very different.
Pasty.
Hearty portable meal for the area's historic tin miners. This ginormous pasty was absolutely bursting with flavor. While you can find Cornish pasties across the UK,
That looks good.
not a single other one we've tried even comes close to the enormous flaky buttery pasty
You 3 can share one. I'll have one of my own.
we tried at Anne's Pasties.
It's so good. Cornwall is also a prime spot for having a proper cream tea. But if you visit Cornwall, be sure to try your clotted cream and jam the Cornish way by putting the jam on the scone first before topping it with the clotted cream. While you might prefer the Devonshire way with cream first, in Cornwall it's an unwritten rule that you have to do it their way.
What makes Cornwall so special is that it feels totally removed from the rest of England in the best way possible. It's an absolute must visit to explore the wonderful scenery, food, and culture that is Cornwall.
The Cotswolds is a must-visit place in England.
We're also going to the Cotswolds, and that is like on everyone's top list, so I can't wait for this.
And that's why it's coming in at number 4. The Cotswolds is somewhere that we had so many people tell us we needed to visit. And when we finally did, it all made sense. The Cotswolds is a region
Look how cool that was.
You know,
we needed to visit. And when we finally did, it all made sense.
Yeah.
like from this angle, that looks very small. But
It does.
if these are doors, that is quite the tall building.
The Cotswolds is a region in southwest England that will make you feel like you're living in an English fairy tale, full of rolling hills, colorstone cottages.
I don't know why that is so like infatuating to me. Just the architecture, the way, I just can't imagine like fathom walking down that little strip there.
And the loveliest English villages.
Well, get ready, because you can't get a car down there, so you better be walking.
We spent 3 days in the Cotswolds, and it did not feel like enough time. Our first stop was the charming village of Painswick, known as the Queen of the Cotswolds. Wandering through the churchyard with its 99 yew trees felt like stepping into a storybook scene.
It's a cool
The village
tree.
of Bybury is not to be missed. Arlington Row, which is widely considered England's most iconic street, is lined with cottages that date back to
All right, do tell, why is Arlington Row considered England's most popular known street? Tell me.
the 1300s. The village itself is tiny, so get there early to make sure you can get parking and beat the crowds. In Burton-on-the-Water, also known as the Venice of the Cotswolds, we admired the stone bridges arching over the river. The model village is a highlight, which has
Oh my gosh! Whoa, that scared me for a second.
There's giants! Ah!
Like, wow, how did I not notice how tall these people were all the earlier in the video?
we admired the stone bridges arching over the river. The model village is
That really messed my brain up for about 0.2 seconds.
That's cool though.
Model villages.
A mini village. Yeah.
a highlight, which has intricately detailed models of all
A mini golf course through here would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
of the shops and everything in the village, down to even having its own tiny model.
We've got to film some kind of
I'm sure you can't crawl on top
ridiculous. Well, no, but like peering out, like you have the camera perfectly placed to where it looks like an actual size building, and then all of a sudden somebody's head just comes out from the top of the building.
Version of the model village within the model village.
Oh,
From Burton-on-the-Water, we walked a path to nearby
Telephone thing.
model village within the model village.
Telephone.
From
that's something I've not really thought about until now.
Are they still operational? Or are they just? I
think
remember somebody
decorations
said
now.
something a while back. They're not operational as like kind of like payphones here in the United States.
I don't see anything in there.
That they've been converted into other things.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, like even before we started like doing British content, that's something I've always kind of wanted to like interact with. But up until this very point, I kind of forgotten. We gotta do like the typical tourist photo, of course.
Oh yeah.
Burton-on-the-Water, we walked a path to nearby Lower Slaughter. Each town has its own unique charm, and it's lovely to just explore and take in as many as you can. Our friends and fellow YouTubers, JJ Extra, showed us around Stow-on-the-Wold, taking us to what is often referred to as the Tolkien Door, and showing us side alleys that once served to herd sheep into the market square. We even got to see some original medieval stocks.
The best food we ate in the Cotswolds were the 2-in-1 pies at the 17th century pub called the Weybridge Inn. Like the name suggests, half of the dish is one of their decadent pie fillings, like steak and mushroom or chicken, ham, and leek. And the other side is filled to the brim with the most deliciously creamy cauliflower cheese. It was the ultimate savory pie experience.
No trip to
That
the
looks
Cotswolds is
fire.
complete without staying in an iconic cottage with that classic Cotswolds green paint. Ours was located in the village of Longborough and was the perfect relaxing place to unwind, aside from a
That looks cool.
That was
smelting cheese in the oven and almost burning our cottage
gosh.
down. The Cotswolds is a very popular destination, and for good reason. If you're
Cows just walking down the street.
Can I pet one of those?
I wouldn't advise that.
looking for a place to visit in the picturesque English countryside, look no further than the Cotswolds. It is truly a real-life storybook escape. Before we get into the top 3, if you've enjoyed this video, please...
Wow. I really hope the top 3 aren't super northern.
Yeah.
But they might be.
Please subscribe. Each place that's made this list has a more in-depth video, and we have even more videos from places that didn't make the list. So make sure to check out our other videos on the channel.
Number 3 is Whitby. Steeped in literary history
Never heard of
and
Whitby.
seaside charm, the coastal town of Whitby is one of the best in England. It's easy to see why this gem on the Yorkshire coast
Very good.
inspired Bram Stoker's novel Dracula.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Interesting.
You know that?
Dracula, yeah.
Horror man?
Yeah.
Horror man.
Brown Stoker.
Spook man.
We love this town so much.
Wait.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yorkshire coast inspired Bram.
I love how you've got like
This.
you've got this whole thing that's like very Dracula themed, and then you've got ADT
Yeah, I saw that. too.
protected by.
How about the
Why is it not
graveyard right
protected
before
by
it?
Dracula?
The graveyard up front.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, rewind it just a
Very-
touch. I was like, wow, I
very
didn't see it.
Very large.
It's easy to
graveyard.
see why
Yeah.
this
Graveyard.
I think that's 2 separate places. Isn't it?
That's part of Bram Stoker's
Yeah.
experience.
Yes.
That's the.
That's all the people that have fought Dracula.
on
Those
the
are
Yorkshire
Dracula's
coast
victims.
inspired Bram Stoker's novel Dracula.
We love this town so
so
much
cool,
that
man.
we've now made multiple videos about it. On our first trip, we didn't know much about Whitby before going and went on the recommendation of our friends. We were completely blown away by the stunning architecture. There are so many places around town with stunning views.
The dramatic ruins of Whitby
How much does a house cost in one of these areas?
That's a great question.
I might be in the market.
Abbey are one of the best sights in town. Though entry requires a fee, you can still wander the scenic churchyard and soak in the sweeping views from the near.
What is that?
Wow. Just walking out to the end of that.
It's like 2 separate, almost boardwalks that we would have at an American beach. It looks like a what do they
Like a
call those? A
shipping
moat?
ship?
A moat?
Oh, yeah.
Like to bring in ships to like a castle way back in the day or something?
By path. Between wandering the labyrinth of cobbled streets lined with arcades and amusements, taking a boat tour, or getting fish and chips from one of the many famous chippies in Whitby, you can't go wrong.
And speaking of fish and chips, wow, they are great in Whitby. The Magpie Cafe is probably the most famous place.
Is that the line to
That's
get?
the
That's the
line.
line.
Wow.
Looks like we're gonna be eating a lot of fish and chips. I'm down.
To get them, and probably just as famous for the queue outside as they are for the fish and chips themselves. But the food is fantastic. They have great curry sauce, and I'm making myself hungry just talking about the fish and chips in Whitby.
You also must try a lemon top, which is a soft serve combination of vanilla and lemon.
That looks phenomenal.
Vanilla and lemon.
Okay, I thought I was ready for this trip. Now, now
You
I'm
better
ready.
go on a diet the next 3 weeks.
Now
man.
I'm ready.
It's a delight and a Whitby must. And if you're visiting Whitby, consider also exploring the nearby fishing
That's so
village
cool,
of
man.
Robin Hood's Bay. It's a very steep walk down to the sea, but it's a great village to wander the winding streets, check out the shops, and is a 10 out of 10 rated beach from our dock's perspective.
Okay.
We have loved each spot.
So now I just want to extend my trip like 2 weeks and just walk upon the city, you know, and go into different shops and like. I think we're gonna have a hard time sticking to an itinerary. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
On the Yorkshire coast, we visited towns in England.
The Lake District is one of the top places that you have to visit in England.
going there?
And that is why
can't
it
remember.
is number 2. The Lake District is home to the country's tallest peaks, deepest lakes, and
my
most
God.
breathtaking scenery. It's a UNESCO World Heritage
I turned on closed captioning. Turn it off.
deepest lakes,
Wow.
and most breathtaking.
Is that where you wanted to stop?
Sure, it doesn't really matter. Do people camp out here? Because I would love to go camping out here.
Yeah.
If people
I thought
camp
we
in
could
the UK?
fish.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
go
could fish, you
camping,
camp
fishing.
out there. It'd be great.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Scenery. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site and was at the top of our UK bucket list for a while before we finally visited last summer. And it
Can I pet them?
He's trying to steal the spotlight.
He's trying to bring English.
Sir, is this your check? Is this your check
Two
lamb?
lambs. He's seen castles, he's seen great mountain peaks, and he gets to 2 lambs up here, and he just about sucks the computer down his throat.
Look at them.
Oh gosh.
It did not disappoint. One of the highlights for me was Buttermere Lake, which I should clarify, most of the lakes in the Lake District are technically...
That looks like something seen in Jurassic Park.
It does. Or look at the hills.
They missed their chance to put the music to the behind that.
Yeah.
I did.
meres, which by definition is a shallow lake, pond, or wetland. Hence the name Buttermere. But whatever you refer to the body of water, it's absolutely astonishing. It felt so peaceful and serene.
I know the water's cold in there, but can you go swimming, or is that like a protected lake?
Also a good question.
Almost like we had it all to ourselves. The views in the Lake District are amazing, but what we didn't expect was how much we would fall in love with the towns. The charming town of Keswick is full of shops and cafes and a great place to wander.
A real highlight was visiting this amazing bar called the Crafty Ba, which was built out of mostly recycled materials.
Wow, that's
it
so
had such a
cool.
unique, cozy atmosphere and an incredible selection of over 100.
That's like their
100?
beer menu.
Let's see.
100
Number
drinks.
20 is yours. Or 19. Or 6. The 6 would be mine.
Number 9,
This is a
banana
dark beer.
beer.
Banana beer.
What's on that
Somebody
side?
like
What is number
that.
58? I see lemon and I can't see it.
Lemon and hibiscus. Sour. That's mine.
I can't read number 13.
Cucumber and mint sour.
No.
21, jam donut.
Can't read 14.
Charlie and
Jam
the Pop
donut.
Factory.
Yes, sir. At least it's not a jelly donut.
Number 69.
What's that one?
28, famous mango beer.
I think that's sangria spiced.
There's a Choco Blanca Maca Stout at 22.
Okay, so we've got to go to a place like this
Yeah.
and just
Beer out.
sort of
Drink all night.
Oh, hell yeah. Give me 2 beers.
100 beers. I tried a peanut butter stout, and man, it was delightful.
Sign me up.
We couldn't visit the Lake District without stopping in the town of Windermere, which holds a special place in our hearts because we used to live in a town called Windermere, Florida, named after this very spot. The English Windermere is considered the heart of the Lake District, and after exploring its streets, we can confidently say it is the cooler of the 2 namesakes. And
How much do you want to bet number 1's London?
Prepare the pitchforks comments. I can't
Hillside was
speak.
another great stop, as it felt a lot more low-key and quieter than Windermere. And the highlight there is the 17th century bridge house. You also can't visit the Lake District without sampling the world-famous gingerbread from Sarah Nelson's Gingerbread Shop, which has been crafting this
Just gingerbread.
Just gingerbread.
Gingerbread.
unique treat from a
That's fire.
secret recipe since 1850.
This is the only place in the world where delicious raspberry.
Now everybody wants to get excited about it now. I was excited about it 5 seconds ago. Now everybody wants to be cool about it, huh?
4. Even if you have to wait in line, it's
That's the
worth
line
wait
for the
and you'll be
gingerbread.
greeted by the aroma of warming spices while you're outside. The shop is located right next to St. Oswald's Church, where renowned poet William Wordsworth is buried. He even described Grasmere as the loveliest spot that man hath ever found. And after tasting that heavenly gingerbread, I'm inclined to agree. There's also a very special afternoon tea experience at the Bassenthwaite Lake
Go back to
Station.
that.
It's a
That's another thing. I think we've seen this on a video before, but like their tea experience, some places are like this where it's not just tea. You go in and have assorted snacks with your tea.
Yeah.
There's also a very special afternoon tea experience at the Bassenthwaite Lake Station. It's a restored train station where you can have tea on a replica Orient Express train car that was used in the movie Murder on
That's cool.
Murder on
That
the
is super cool. Murder on the what?
dance floor. No.
Don't kill the groove.
the Orient Express. At only
Orient
25 pounds per
Express.
person, it was an amazing value for such a special experience. There is just so much to see and do in the Lake District. It's a place you could easily return to again
They're gonna say you 4 hoodlums cannot get on this train. You have to sit outside.
and again. The natural beauty combined with the delightful towns and experiences make the Lake District an absolute must visit.
The number one place to visit on our list has to be York. On our first trip, it was probably the single place that made us fall in love with England. There's no place quite like York. It's a city
Okay, so now I'm shocked that London isn't on the list at all.
Well, read the comments. They'll tell you not to go to London.
that has a perfect blend of history and charm and feels so quintessentially English. York Minster is one of the world's most stunning Gothic
Holy
cathedrals.
cow.
We were awestruck by the intricate details and the sheer scale of it. We especially noticed the scale when we were climbing the 275 steps to the
275.
Are you climbing the steps? There,
I would.
small boy.
Since I'm a hiker.
Yeah, you hiker.
top of the central tower. It was a real workout, but the breathtaking panoramic views over the city made it worth it. The Shambles, often called Europe's best preserved medieval street, is one of the coolest looking streets in England. The narrow winding lane with overhanging timber framed buildings is like nothing we'd ever seen anywhere else. We loved browsing the quirky independent shops like the Ghost Merchants of York, known for its handmade ghost
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
really cool.
Interesting.
Y'all gonna get a ghost design?
You know what?
Oh, we can't. We're not going to York, but
No, but I do plan on getting some souvenirs. Like
Yeah.
little quirky stuff like this you
That's
literally
cool.
couldn't get anywhere
Yeah.
else.
Can you imagine like one for each of us? Like which one best describes us? If they're that. I don't know.
they don't have a handsome ghost.
Personalized.
That would be me.
The handsome ghost.
The pub culture in York is fantastic too. From trying classic pub dishes at Ye Olde Star Inn, which was established in 1644, to meeting locals at the Snickelway Inn, a great pub with quirky decor and 80s punk rock vibes. We loved immersing ourselves in the pub culture in York. Betty's Tea Room is a popular place to get afternoon tea,
All right, I
and
think
it's
we
also
answered your
There's
question.
your answer, yeah.
Do you have tea shops? There's a tea
There's a
room.
tea shop.
a really wonderful experience. At York Roast Company, you can grab the street food version of a Sunday roast. All of the roast and veg fixings wrapped up inside a Yorkshire pudding. Yum, can't go
Oh,
wrong
that
there.
looks nice.
But there are many great food
Oh.
options in York for dining.
But why I know York is one of the best places to visit is because every time we go, we just want to put the camera down and immerse ourselves in the vibes and atmosphere. It's the kind of city I just want to wander and get lost in. It's a great city to take in a museum, walk the walls, and take in all of the Roman and Viking history, and just have a good
That scared me.
I didn't know what was going on.
That was an actual family.
Yeah, I didn't know what was
I
going
was
on.
very concerned for their well-being.
time in a cool city.
It's hard to make a list of only 10 places that you must visit in England, as there are many more we visited that we've loved, and even more that we haven't even experienced yet. Is there a must-visit place that we missed? Make sure to let us know in the comments.
Can I put that?
Sure.
And also, let us know about any hidden gems or underrated places we should visit on a future trip.
Wow.
Well, thank you to the Magic Geekdom for that video. That was a very cool video. We're also going to find Zach a petting zoo while we're in the UK.
Very informative
I have heard talk
video.
that there are llamas very close to where we are going to be, so.
We're
If you
gonna
want to
have-
find us, you just find the llamas.
The three of us will have to pull fire guard shifts to make sure Zach does not sneak out of our domicile to go pet llamas.
Oh man, yeah. Once again, thanks Magic Geekdom for the incredible video. We'll definitely be reacting to some other videos. It's
pretty cool.
And also, like I find with every video that we react to, I'm getting more and more and more excited of what is to come. Oh, so if you stuck with us this long, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps us out. And stay tuned for our very own UK vlogs, very similar.
Maybe
to
we'll put
this
out
one.
a top 10 things we did in the UK.
And that you should do. So, all that leaves us to say is this has been Blanks No One Asked For, and certainly no one asked for this.
And if you watched all the way to the end, comment, can I pet that?
But wait, there's more. Still got that itch for more Blanks No One Asked For? Click that bottom left video down there to see the content that YouTube thinks would be the best for you.